So what's everyone drinking?
Alcohol.
Hi, Oli Capone.
That's Ollie.
Ah,
He says was still confused.
Is the
What's
video
up?
working for you
Drinking
now?
Lagunitas.
what's
All
that?
right, all right.
It's a beer.
We
Well, I
live
mean,
in
An
I
IPA.
gathered that.
It's a fancy beer.
An IPA.
Ah,
I mean, I could have
One of my
guessed that if
faves.
Andy's drinking it.
uh, Hunter
I've
Chew
got-
is still having issues.
got Basil Hayden's whiskey.
Oh man, you
Nice.
going hard. You going hard.
Hard. Hard down.
You know me, I'm always hard.
Oh. I mean,
Gonna
same.
vom.
Yeah.
Listen, don't give away our covers for the next album.
Hard. Hard.
Matt's like, no.
Jizzed in my pants. Metal
Oh
version.
God, we should cover that.
We should.
It'd be extra special being a lead singer who is female singing "Jizzed in My Pants."
Yeah. I'm
I
sorry if
have
there are
to,
any if there are any
change those
children
lyrics?
watching this.
Just
Well, it
waiting
is
for
a happy
Sean to
hour.
say the-
There
Yep.
was
Yeah.
there's alcohol involved, so I guess
My personal opinion is day drinking is the best kind of drinking.
yeah. Because you can nap in the middle of the day afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can become sober before you go to bed.
Yeah, like hydrate, eat something, and that way you wake up feeling refreshed.
That's
Yeah.
such an adult way of looking at it.
It's the only thing an adult I do.
The one thing that you learned how to adult at was drinking.
Well, I'm a professional at that. I'm drinking vodka with lemon club and some bitters,
Wow.
mostly vodka.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, y'all are getting crunk.
So that's as
I'm a
bad
big
as
vodka
Mag
guy.
Labs, where I'm in my car in the Mag Labs parking lot downing vodka, or not whiskey. It was whiskey.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I got
Wait.
excited.
Was that before? Oh yeah, you weren't even at the Mag Labs I was at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was with Corey.
Oh wow.
This was
yeah, that
after we
was-
first met Sean, and he first joined the band, and then that was the first time I saw Sean
got
get obliterated. and I
So
was
excited
super
he needed to
worried.
drink alone in his car.
And he just appeared the next morning super early, like just looking like death, and was like, "I'm gonna go get some food," and I was like,
Good.
Was
"Okay."
Was that the first? Was that the
The
first,
first
gig?
gig?
Yeah,
No,
After
No.
you
that was the
joined?
first gig. No, that was Club Orpheus. Ugh.
That was
an
before
interesting
Andy
place.
joined.
My first gig was Mag.
Yeah, the
Labs.
archive will be up on
Yeah.
YouTube.
What's on
Um,
what?
them-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
can't actually look at the questions because it makes my Zoom garbage. So Yep.
I'll share them.
tell me.
Yeah, I guess we should read out the comments whenever we're responding to them. What was your first gig, Andy?
Hugs to you, Mitchie.
I think it was that show Mag Labs, the one where Sean got sloppy early.
But that was the day before we performed. So like I felt like that was my
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
do
that-
it
yeah,
the
that's-
day
that's
of the
fine.
performance.
Thanks
I
for
mean,
the
you
hugs.
know, I was a little worried, but it was like, 4 p.m. and you were still sleeping or something. But
No, he was awake really early, but then he crashed again after eating, I think. He,
No, the day
had to
like
get
I
up and
passed out
hydrate
early
and
that
eat, and-
day.
I remember it was just a lot of food chunks in the sink.
Oh,
Hmm.
you in the sink?
Yeah.
Don,
That,
that's a
that
no-no.
reminds
No sinks.
reminds
in
me of
bathtubs. Hit the toilet. Not
my
that far
college
away.
roommate. College roommate threw up in our kitchen sink once
Hunter.
after
Oh
drinking.
no!
I was like, you sure I felt bad for him? I was kind of pissed. I'm like, that's disgusting, dude. That's the kitchen.
I mean, I guess if you had one of those disposal things, it's not
Um,
as bad. But then it would smell like vomit.
Yeah, I
Gross.
mean he had to clean it up, but yeah, that was really gross. I think the reason he threw up in the kitchen sink is because our other roommate was in the bathroom.
Oh, couldn't just wander outside and throw up.
It would have been better if he had gone outside.
I
thankfully.
hate sink barfers. It's the worst. Just
If I
use the
can't do
toilet.
the toilet, I will find an exit and like.
That's
just
actually
throw
the
up in
only time
grass.
I've ever done that, though. That I can remember.
Yeah.
Ollie,
I
Ollie,
think-
why should I be a Rito?
What?
I think
a
that's
good
poet.
question.
Ollie, is that poet? Oh no.
No,
Tyler is
that's
poet.
yeah. I forget poet's name. I think it's
It's Tyler.
Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're a bird, Andy.
I guess.
You a bird, man. You a bird.
Give you the bird.
And Magnus says that he would like to see a documentary or recording of us goofing around.
I mean, that wouldn't be hard. Just have a camera follow
Yeah.
us like when we're together.
Yeah.
Oh, have a camera on a road
'Cause I'm
trip.
an
Yeah,
isolationist.
that's what I was
That's
thinking.
ideal.
Yeah.
Goofing around
Stuff-
time.
stuff
Finally, gonna
gets-
go on tour again.
Yeah.
Stuff
road
gets
trip
weird on the
or
road.
like a music video.
Kojo gets
shoot.
weird on the road, is what he means to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also true. Like his random drop-ins. Like this is the first time I'm posting in Discord in like a month, and it's just some random meme,
Right?
and then gone.
Sean gets silly. Matt laughs a lot. Kojo gets weird, and Andy is Andy.
I'm Andy.
And then all of us are Andy sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I do like to.
Yes.
I would like to like archive like all the Andy pictures.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
god, we do that every
Make-
time.
make an
I forgot
album.
about that.
Yeah.
Photo
The
album.
soap thing.
The evolution of Oops All Andys.
You can leave the one where he photoshopped Donald Trump kissing me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Probably
think you were
omit this-
kissing Donald
I
omit
Trump.
that
think you
one.
were the most upset about that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I'd be
Oh,
too.
thank you.
I wouldn't want to be kissed by Donald Trump.
Who's
I don't
the
think
sanest
anyone
one out of you
does.
guys on the road? What do you mean by sanest?
I think we're all
Sanest.
a little insane.
We're all
by the end
pretty
of it.
weird.
Yeah.
It
mean,
took like
it's-
all of the restraint I had not to reply to that comment on Facebook about like, how have you been keeping sane during COVID? I was like, bold of you to assume that we were sane to begin with.
Yeah. There.
I'm pleasantly surprised how well we do on the road, spending that much time together. I mean, especially
Uh-huh.
this last
Same.
tour.
Yeah.
Well.
Has it not gone well with other
Well,
groups?
Sean wasn't there.
I think he just means because, you know, with our different personalities, it's surprising that we can tolerate each other for long periods of
Yeah.
time.
I'm very very surprised. How well we're doing.
Has there been any infighting?
Oh.
Not
think-
during the tours, at least.
Nah, yeah, less during
Sometimes.
chorus.
It's mostly just Matt and I arguing a lot.
They're- Matt and Lily are very much alpha personalities, so when you get two alphas together, things happen.
Shit gets lit on fire,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, the
Heated.
other three of us are much more laid back and easy to get along with.
What's funny is I don't think you've seen the worst of it, Kojo. Like I feel like
No.
Corey.
We toned it down a
Corey
lot
got
when you
that.
joined.
Yeah, and I'm
You're welcome.
glad. No,
Yeah,
I should be saying you're welcome because it's because of me
That is true.
that you guys have chilled out.
Right.
There
Sure.
were a few pretty intense meetings.
Some
Yeah.
scream fests.
Pretty intense is a very
Matt,
mild.
Matt and I got into it one time too.
Yeah, there was that one time.
Oh yeah.
Where like
Jesus,
But that-
Matt, why you
That
gotta
was
be-
that was online. We didn't take that to practice.
Huh.
There was a lot of leaving the chat.
Mhm. That's mostly me.
Yeah, that's Lily.
That's like a yearly event for me
Yeah,
at this
she
point.
was
It's like the anniversary of when Lily gets mad and leaves
Yeah.
the chat. And
Yeah.
they're like, she'll be back.
yeah, it's like just let her go.
Yeah. We used to get like stressed about it, and then we were just like,
Then they were just like, no, this happens all the time now.
Yeah, I mean sometimes.
She just needs to leave for a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes people just need to cool off, and
yeah.
it's better to cool off than to react in the heat of the moment, because that's what leads to issues. And
Right.
It's like rage quitting a game. Sometimes you just need to walk
Sometimes,
away.
sometimes you just have to be like, fuck it. Boom.
Fuck you guys, I'm out of here.
I never
Um,
say that before I leave the chat.
No.
It's heavily implied.
I usually leave the chat because I want to say "fuck you guys." Instead, I
Although,
just leave.
Next time it happens, I want to screenshot it and make it a GIF that I can post.
Yeah.
Shit.
So like, I feel like a lot of the stress that the band went through, especially like during the kind of that early period, it was a lot of it was money related, and I feel like we were just really stressed
yeah.
out because like we
Oh,
were spending our
yeah.
own money and we couldn't decide who
Oh,
gets
yeah.
paid
That was
back
a lot.
first, and like everyone was just kind of upset.
Hmm.
Yeah, because when we first started, like, we had to like contribute like thousands of dollars of our own finances. So
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
it was a
and-
tough time.
Yeah.
so yeah, but having like a little extra cushion, you know, and being able
For
to
the
like
pushing.
Yeah,
And that's something that you patrons really
Yeah,
help
so
with.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really
For
do,
sure.
and you know we're getting this started, and that's really gonna assist us like being able to do bigger, better things because
Right.
none of us take any sort of like stipend from this. Like it's
No.
all
Yeah, we aren't making any money off of
We're
it.
not-
none
No.
whatsoever.
not a
I
penny
am.
goes into our pockets. Well, that's just because you hook on the side. Andy's open for business during mag, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh
Master Hook.
my!
Master slut.
Andy, I had no idea.
All those free guitars.
That's why
Although-
he disappears to all those private parties.
It would be nice.
There-
Actually,
Oh,
Kojo's
hi,
the one
Mary.
who disappears.
I think we all disappear during MagFest. Like I don't know where
Oh, yeah.
anyone is half the time.
It's I mean, it's
Except
such a
for me.
huge
You
convention.
know exactly where the fuck I am.
Because you're so loud and you tried to beat up Batman every time.
No, that's well. I guess at night when I'm drunk, you know. I was referring to I'm always at the booth.
Oh, okay.
Oh
that's
yeah,
good.
I was
Like
talking
during the day,
more
you're always
about.
at the booth. At night, you're picking fights with
Yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Right.
only been to two
up, Mary?
MagFests, so I
Antagonist.
like to check everything out. And also, they usually have people that I follow there, like YouTubers and musicians that I like. So I go to check out their panels or their performances.
Yeah, it was super cool being next to the Proto Men.
Yeah,
This
she was gushing
Mhm.
like
I
crazy.
was like-
Yeah.
She was
I don't think I've ever
fangirling so
fangirled
hard.
so hard.
I know. it
I
was
like
hilarious.
chased down the lead singer to get him to sign one of my
What's-
vinyls, and I think I scared the shit out of him.
Ollie, you
No,
never
you
heard the
didn't.
Batman
Wayne!
story? Ollie, you never heard
Oh,
the Batman
remember?
story?
Actually, I don't know if I should talk about that.
What?
About
Well,
the? I'll just say the guy who was like in the, I guess you could call it the green room for our second performance at MagFest this year. We were like, why is he here? Is he gonna
Oh,
perform? And it turned out he wasn't a performer.
He was
No.
just hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was just so nonchalant
It was
about
so nice, but like I
He-
was so confused because he never performed. I was like, oh, so you're
it. Yeah,
just here. Okay.
yeah.
He
He wasn't
he-
supposed to be back there.
well, he works for Jam Space. He just
I
was
see.
he just wasn't working at the time, and he wanted
Mm-hmm.
to talk to us.
He was just hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he asked me to take pictures with him with like a fake gun. I was like, are you gonna like Photoshop these and use them against me later? Like I'm being nice, but also this is real weird.
Yeah, it was just kind of he just kind of gave me a weird vibe. And it
He's
was
an
like
alright
2
guy.
a.m. too. Yeah, I mean he's all right guy. I was,
Yeah,
I was
he
just sort
nice.
of
He was
confused
just
about the
very
whole
socially
situation.
awkward person.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell for me sometimes because I feel like sometimes people become socially awkward around me. Like they're totally normal and then they start to interact with me and it's just like a weird. Because I'm a socially awkward person with people I don't know. So then it's like two really awkward people trying to have a conversation about nothing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It always,
Most of my
it always
life.
surprises me, like how like awkward you get around fans.
Yep. Because I know what to say. They're like, great job. And I'm like, thanks. Glad you liked it. And that's all I got.
Ollie says people at
Well, and-
cons giving weird vibes. How odd.
Yeah. So-
Yeah, there's
pretty
there's some
common.
strange people there.
There's this one guy every MagFest, like he's always dressed as Mario with like the cap,
Oh.
and he just like follows Lily around. So like, there's always Lily always has to have some sort of like chaperone during the time because he's just like awkward. He'll just stand at our booth and eat candy like the entire time. Won't buy
Yeah.
anything.
By the way, if you're a fan of somebody, don't just awkwardly follow them around. It's not
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That is not cool. That is not an enjoyable experience, and it won't be for you either. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I think there's something like not you know,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Was
I
it the
mean,
one? Is it the
I think
guy
he
that
may have
stood there for
some
like
issues.
45 minutes or like an hour after the main stage show?
Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah,
And
that
the
was.
one who waited until I was with somebody else at the booth in the morning, and literally the minute the other person went to get breakfast, he just appeared out of nowhere and
Oh, God.
stared at me. Just,
poor me indeed.
I was like, "What is wrong with you? Go away!" And it's not like he even talked; he just stood there.
Yeah.
At least if you're going to like be creepy with someone, try to have a conversation. Make
That
it
just
less
made it
weird.
creepier because you're just standing there and like eating
Yeah.
candy.
Be a less creepy creep.
But
Okay,
if you're going from
The
maximum
least-
creepy, I mean, he's got it down.
Yeah.
right?
The-
No, he needed to stand like in a corner though, where I like couldn't quite see him unless I like looked a certain, and I'll be like, "Oh no, how long was he standing there?" Because that's way creepy.
Was
Yeah.
he ever really there? Well, yeah, we're all kind of socially awkward except for Sean. Sean's definitely the social
least
butterfly
awkward.
of the group.
It's because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The rest of us care
I mean,
way too much.
I also
I
work in
actu-
sales,
I-
so
I wouldn't say that I care too much. I just don't always feel like talking. And
Okay.
I'm even less interested in talking to people I don't know at all. I have no connection to. Not to say like fans fall into it. With fans, like I'm happy to talk to you, but I am going to be kind of awkward because I'm just sort of socially awkward.
yeah.
It's fair.
Oh,
I don't know why
Shakrana-
I'm so
yeah,
awkward.
he
There's
didn't
plenty of
buy
stuff to talk
anything. He
about.
was just standing
I
there,
don't know.
like looking at Lily. So, to answer your question, yeah, he was just being weird and creepy, and not even like being a fan.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
there-
think he's ever bought anything. I think he comes to our booth and just like stares.
Yeah.
Like he can't even talk to him.
Like I think
You're
he
like
went
me,
to the
Magnus?
show to
Cool.
stare and then just stood there staring. Like it was really creepy. That's the creepiest I felt ever by a fan in this band. Not in any band. But in this band.
So our fans are at least not the worst, is what you're saying.
Oh no, no. Our fans are not the worst. I've had so many creepier people. Like when I was in the metal scene, like people are just disgusting. Like they
Yeah.
will, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying that the metal scene is a horribly disgusting place, but in my experience
But,
as
yeah,
a
there-
woman
there
in the
are
metal
people
scene,
there, yeah.
people are gross.
Yeah,
Like,
because
they
it's-
will
it's
come up
very-
and just
very
try touching you
male-
inappropriately.
very
like,
male dominated.
Ugh, gross.
Other than the people that message you inappropriate things, you haven't met them in person.
Thank God. Some of them
Right.
with teeth.
You guys don't hear that barking, right?
I don't hear any barking.
No.
Good.
Well,
My
now I
dog
do.
is going crazy right now, but I've got that software on that cuts out
Non-human
background
noise.
noises.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mario guy could be
non-human
feet
noises.
guy.
Not
Although-
human noises.
Mary says Mario guy is feet guy. Mystery solved.
Hey.
We don't.
Who
we
is
don't know
feet
who feet
guy?
guy. He's commented on like a few pictures and just like ooh feet.
Yeah.
Show
That's
feet.
all we know about him.
Yeah.
A picture
Like
of
if you're
all
into
of us.
feet, that's great, but also maybe be not weird about it.
Well, it was super weird. It's like there was a picture of us in the studio, like we're just like recording the Final Door album, and
Yeah,
like
last year.
yeah, Lily is barefoot, like sitting on like the arm of a sofa, and I'm like sitting on the floor, or something, and he's just like comment is like,
I wish
I
I
wish
could
I-
be that close to
yeah,
her feet.
Sean's so lucky. I wish he could be that close, and I'm just like, oh,
And
And-
Sean's suddenly like, I was that close to her feet? Gross.
yeah.
I want to point out that picture had Andy with a fucking banana on his head, and
Right,
no
and
one
that's what he
said
noticed.
anything. No one said anything about that banana.
It was just the feet.
Everyone honed in on feet guy after he commented. Nobody saw
Yeah.
the banana.
I guess we know how to get the engagement up. Just have pictures of feet in them, like have feet included in the pictures.
Yep. No bananas. Bananas do nothing for us.
Yeah.
So
Barf, gif, emoticon.
I'm gonna grab another beer.
okay.
Okay.
I'm almost there. Should I grab an Angry Orchard or a Red Stripe next?
Red
Red
stripe.
stripe.
Red Orchard.
I assume
So-
so, since the last
Just
time.
mix them. Mix them together.
No, that's gross.
Don't cross
Nobody
the
will-
streams.
Shigrano says red stripe, and
Ollie says Angry Orchard.
Ooh.
there's
Why
no-
not both at the same time? Just switch
there's
off.
No, there's two Ollies. There's Ollie and Ala Capone.
Oh, so they're different people.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is it
Yeah.
Allie or
that's confusing.
Holly?
There's Ollie Longchamp. Are you French?
It's
Or
long
is
pants.
I mean, it could be, but it could be Longchamp. I don't know.
I don't know. I wish I could
Not
open
my
up to
chat,
these
no.
people.
Got 2 Ollies.
I'm just trying to
Oh,
like match the Discord picture
Yeah.
because I know there's an Oliver who talks a lot.
Oh yeah. See, he said his last name's French.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Well,
doubt me.
I'm a dick. I'm sorry.
I think he might be a Kickstarter person because I remember that name.
Ollie, are you a Kickstarter?
Oh, you're from Nevada.
If not, I apologize for calling you out like
I think
that.
the other one is from California, so
Oh.
I think No.
He's not.
Oh, okay.
This could be a different Ollie. This could be a
Yeah.
third.
Too many Ollies.
Okay.
But he is from
All
California.
right, yeah. All right. Then I know which one he is. Okay. Again, just trying to put the Discord photo with the name.
And yeah, because also the names are different.
Callie Neva. Neva sounds like a fairy from a Zelda game.
Never. Well, if you supported the Kickstarter, we appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. So, do you guys have any questions, like internal machinations of the band or anything like that?
Our songwriting process, fun gigs, just anything you want to ask about. Except for asking us to show you feet.
Yes, there will be no feet.
You sure?
Nah, nobody wants to see those.
Aw.
Put those
Nobody
away.
wants to see your crusty feet.
Andy, you're clipping. You're disappearing into the wall.
Yeah.
He's doing the
Do you have a-
Homer
Wait, do
retreat.
you have a green screen up?
You
Oh, yeah, I
didn't
just
notice?
noticed.
That's the
No,
office.
no,
One of
he's-
those virtual backgrounds.
He's in the office, you know.
I don't know why I didn't even think about the background. I didn't pay any attention to it.
Nevada
My
Ollie
asks
asks, "What
workspace.
made you
There's just a
decide on-
dude behind you.
Kojo, he's trying to ask a question.
All right, what made you decide on a Zelda theme?
Matt.
Uh,
It seems obvious, right? Like Zelda's
'Cause
fucking
it's awesome.
Yeah. I really like Zelda. If that's not clear, so. And
Well,
it wasn't clear until you said that.
You-
Thank you for
You
clarifying.
can elaborate on that. Like, you've told me the story, like how you saw Metroid Metal and all that, and
Yeah.
that inspired you.
yeah, I mean, I've been going to MagFest since 2010 or 2011, I think.
Dang. I was in high school.
Cool.
Maybe.
Shut up, Kojo.
Baby.
And yeah, like I was in love with video game style bands, and I loved like classic metal, and they all sing about like fantasy shit, so like it
More
wasn't much
songs
of a
about
stretch.
dragons.
Yeah. So
Really,
Sounds
Matt
like-
wanted to ride the coattails of a popular IP to fame and success.
you got it. Nailed it.
That's what some people try to say.
BGM.
Thanks, Magnus.
What is your shirt?
I don't mind Blind Guardian. They're
Good
not my
shirt.
favorite, but
It's
And
the
you-
Half-Life logo.
you certainly played
Mm.
other bands which I dislike more.
Wait, what? Who?
Mary is calling Matt out, saying he doesn't like Blind Guardian.
Oh.
I love Blind Guardian.
Well, Matt only likes like 5 bands, so
I've never
the
even
odds
heard
of one of them being Blind Guardian,
Guardian.
are pretty
None of them
slim.
are Master Sword.
Yeah, well, like I
Accurate.
said, Blind Guardian's all right, but I'm not like huge into
Hansi.
power metal, basically,
Ugh.
like new power metal.
Because you're a disappointing person.
I
That's
don't know if
why.
I call Blind Guardian new power metal. I mean,
New-ish.
Yeah, Blind Guardian. Well,
yeah, they were like, when did Night at the Opera come out?
Okay, when I think of like power metal, it started in like the late 70s. So
Okay.
Blind Guardian is not like the top 5 bands that come to mind when I think of power metal as a genre. Not in like skill level, but just in like classifying them as power metal.
I mean, I feel like genres are all just kind of, there's a lot of
Speculative
overlap.
and-
It's all
Yeah.
vague because it's just people ascribing a label to stuff that people are doing.
Right.
There aren't that many people who are like, oh, we're gonna make music that fits this definition exactly and only that. You know, it's like they're just playing the music
That
they feel like playing,
sounds
and then people describe it
wonderful.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Why are
Yeah.
you yelling, Kojo?
he's very
His
passionate.
volume
He's
is
very
like-
passionate about that.
Yes, I'm very.
and also
pa-
his volume is turned up way too loud.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to make like I could shit like 10 feet away.
Down.
Hey guys, it's me. It's Kojo.
there you go. Perfect.
Oh my.
All right, what else you guys got out there? And
What you
I
got?
guess
What you
while
got?
we're waiting for another question.
Well, someone was asking about our writing process.
Oh really? Did they
Yeah,
say something? Oh, what is the songwriting
one
process?
Of the ollies.
Yeah, I like
I write everything. I kind of let everybody else.
he starts
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the lyrics.
We just
Andy,
we take all
Andy
the credit.
Loves
dictates
the
what
lyrics.
we do.
Love
The
them.
lyrics are
Yeah.
Andy's favorite part of the process. He loves to write,
Absolutely.
I've heard that.
sing,
Yeah.
and listen to lyrics.
Hmm.
Mhm. You should honestly the demos that Andy does by himself. He records the vocals, the drums, guitar, and bass all by himself. It
beautiful.
sounds
Yeah.
better than what we do actually.
The origin of Oops All Andy.
Really, we should just release all of that with an Oops All Andy on the cover.
I have a microphone like just constantly recording in my shower, because that's where I do most of my
Masturbate.
like.
I was waiting for it.
Ew.
There it is.
He's
Oh,
red
God.
too. I caught him.
Hopefully the chat is also drinking heavily.
I mean, I would
I
hope
hope so.
I mean, Shagrano, it's like 10 o'clock
it's
at night,
happy
so
hour.
he's
If you guys aren't
definitely
drinking,
loaded.
you're doing it wrong.
Familiar with subharmonics. I've learned that it's used a lot. Metal for growl vocals, but I've been practicing it myself, being inspired by Who and the Mongolian Band.
Subharmonics?
I know what you're talking
Uh,
about, but
What is that like when you sing and growl at the same time?
it's where you can do multiple tones at once. I think.
Yeah, is that what you mean?
But yeah, going back to the songwriting thing, usually most of the time it's either Matt or I that starts a song idea, and then we'll send it to the band, and then people will give feedback, and then the person who started the song, or maybe one of the other people in the band, will add stuff to it. Lily writes the vocal melodies and lyrics, and then we just kind of put it all together from there.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth. So like if someone writes something, like if Lily writes something over something that I wrote, then I'll probably rewrite some of the stuff that I had there to fit with what she's doing better, and it's kind of just like going back and forth until it's the final product. And not just with like vocals. Like if Andy does something cool on drums, I might change up the rhythmic pattern for the
Yeah.
guitar or something like that.
And I guess I would say that it's still kind of like a new process. I think everything after Shadow and Steel is kind of this new process where everyone's kind of bringing more to the table. Shadow and Steel, correct me if I'm wrong, was more you, Matt, right?
Corey
and everything.
Corey wrote some stuff.
Well, he did like the solos in like one song, right?
Corey wrote all the solos.
Well, yeah, but like as far as like the meat of the songs, like that was predominantly you, wasn't it?
Everything but Beneath the Skin,
And Destined One?
My Destined One, and he wrote he wrote a lot of the instrumental stuff at the end of Master of the Seas. But everything else was, it was me.
So yeah.
Apart from the solos, which, his solo writing was very good, so I just let him do his thing. Like I let Kojo do his thing too, usually.
Yeah, like I mean, we've only written one album with this lineup, so it'll be interesting to see how things go, going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Being able to
trying
set up a whole
a group writing session.
just yells about genres. Yeah, a group writing session could be cool.
You thought I was going to grab a guitar?
I'm holding the
They're
guitar.
kind of they're a little far back for me to grab, but
A song where Koja just yells about genres.
How far are y'all into coming up with another album?
pretty far.
I'm gonna go grab another beer.
We have a lot of songs that are partially written.
Yeah, a lot of riffs, a lot of demos.
It's
Over a dozen.
yes. Most likely, and don't hold us to this, but what we're looking at is probably multiple discs for the next album. How many we don't know. but-
4 or 5.
No, don't
Damn it.
over.
Damn it.
Not gonna be that many.
Yeah, it will not be more than 3.
Yeah, we got a lot of material sitting around.
Yeah, and
We've all been writing stuff this year.
it's some of the best stuff we've done. Hype it up.
I think the biggest problem is just we really haven't had a chance to like get together and like work through it. And people are moving. I know Lily has been able to because she's been moving, and Matt's been moving, and Andy moved. So it's just been a lot of 2020
well-
being 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
But,
of what's gonna hold us up from now on is gonna be the Rona resurgence, because we just we're working out the vocal recording situation so we can try to do it in house. And there are a few songs that are ready for scratch tracks, but I don't know when I'm gonna be able to walk into Sean's house again. So
Well, I think we
But-
can do it socially distanced.
Yeah, like I if you guys, and I think we can do that too. I mean,
Just
if
put her
it's
in the
just
shed.
Dang it.
just
I mean,
throw
you'll
it in
have
the
to
shed.
sing with a mask on, and it'll add a different sound.
Who
but
needs
you
a
know,
filter when you can just sing through a mask?
I did
Yeah.
finish a vocal booth though, so
Yeah.
that is built.
Nice.
Can we see
Matt,
it?
you shared a demo yesterday.
I don't remember doing that. Did I?
James Hunter says that he likes the demo you shared yesterday. Huh.
Which one was that?
I don't know.
Oh, that okay. Sorry, I thought you meant a new song. No, that I don't
did you
think
do
we're
it during
doing.
your sleep or something?
We're not re-releasing Court of the High Ruling King probably ever.
Oh.
Is that a song that actually came out?
But other things might be
Yeah.
on the table.
Hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
an Epoch?
No, that was before Epoch. That was our first demo.
I see.
You probably haven't even heard it.
Well, didn't you share
Yep,
what we're
I haven't heard it.
what we're working on in like the blog, the Patreon blog?
Yeah, everyone should know we're doing covers. They don't know exactly what covers, but we're doing 3 covers and a re-release of The Mountain and Legends.
It's gonna be so cool.
They're sounding great. Like we just got the drums back from Andy's recording session, and I put them in like a demo, and they sound fantastic.
Thank you.
Just
You're welcome.
gotta record the vocals. So Sean, just hide upstairs somewhere,
Oh, I will.
and Matt just come in a hazmat suit, and that'll cover all of our bases.
Then just spray the whole area once she's done.
Well, I mean, my base is big enough. I mean, you can get
Lysol everything. Yeah.
20 feet away from each other if you want, and just set it up over in one corner. Matt sets up the.
Yeah, I mean, I wear a mask. No big deal.
I can't, so you guys have to. I mean, I can until I sing. Then I can't wear a mask because it's weird.
But before coronavirus, how long we'd hang out, or how often we'd hang out?
We practice every Tuesday, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
I
we
know
would usually
that we-
practice every week.
Hung out super often. I mean, we didn't hang out as often as we probably would have liked to, just because we all work. Sean has family. Everybody has
you were
stuff
up in
going on outside of
Pennsylvania.
the band.
Yeah.
So I feel like we probably hung out more or talked more in just being people since the coronavirus started. Not that we weren't friends before then, but You
We
know,
talk a
we
lot
were
on
all like
Facebook.
mutually commiserating about how much we couldn't do as a band outside of just like writing and streaming and recording, because obviously 2020 has basically been canceled, and
Mhm.
next year is probably going to be more of the same. So
We
Yeah,
were,
and
we
like
were playing shows fairly often, and I don't know,
Yeah.
for me, or I think for all of us, that's a social,
Oh, for sure. Especially
social
like
aspect of it.
the
Oh, for sure.
conventions we'd go to.
I feel
Yeah.
like we hung out the most when we were like touring or like at a con, or because there's a lot of, I don't want to say downtime, because there's a lot of like booth time and like selling things and requiring sleep and things like that. But we were all very like connected and a tight knit group for all of that as well.
And we'd have like game nights where a lot of us would come and play board games or
yeah, like we hang out at Sean's house every now and again.
like cookouts or stuff like that.
Play some Smash Brothers.
Play some Smash Brothers.
One of the 3 games that Matt plays, Smash Brothers. Oh, that's not
Hey,
true.
I'm
There's more than 3 Zelda games. So like,
I'm really good at it for a
end games.
reason.
You know what champions do? The same thing over and over again.
I'm like drifting in this chair.
Any other questions? Someone wants to know what your character is in Smash, Matt.
I mean, I have a few, but my main's probably Link.
So yes.
I like Toon Link for the record.
Toon Link sucks.
He does suck, and I'm very upset about it because he was good in prior games.
He was good in Brawl,
Brawl,
and that's the only
yeah.
game he was good at.
Yeah.
Have
And that's
you
when
guys
he
played-
became my main.
Excuse me. Have you guys played Hyrule War? Blah 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 blah. Words are hard. I haven't even gotten halfway through my second beer. Have you guys played Hyrule Warriors yet?
The new one?
The new one, the one that just came out.
I only played the demo.
You have, Sean?
Yes, I have.
You like it?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's definitely like so you can play it as the button smashing game, but what I like is where I feel is like a little bit different than the original is like the secondary attacks, like the bombs and the what's it called, the ice and the magnet. I can't remember the names of it all, but using the magnetic. Every character kind of does it in a different way. So, like for instance, like if there's like a metal crate or whatnot, Daruk, like when he uses the magnet, he kind of like turns it into a bunch of swords and slams the crap out of someone. And Zelda, rather than like just throwing bombs, like she creates this little bomb that has like legs and you can like move it, and so it's pretty cool as far as that goes. And each one kind of has its own I guess specialty, like whether they're like good at like hitting a bunch of enemies at the same time, or if they're like tanks like Daruk and they kind of like plow through. So so far I've only played a couple hours of it, and it's easy enough that my 3-year-old can play it. But it's also, I've only played like 4 hours maybe, and a lot of that is getting to know it. I felt like the first Hyrule Warriors had like a lot of weird things in it, like it was very unintuitive. Like the whole fairy system was like something I had to like look up how to work, and this game seems to be a little more user friendly, and it also looks great. So I like it. It's fun. I wouldn't say it's like 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun kind of just relax, get in the zone, the flow, and just
Yeah.
kill stuff.
And you can
Does
also
it like have a story though? Because it looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was basically like a Breath of the Wild prequel situation.
Yeah, it is a prequel.
What's
Cool.
everyone's favorite Zelda game?
Breath of the Wild.
Majora's
Mine,
Mask.
I feel like changes sometimes. I feel like lately I've been asked that question a lot, and I've kind of gravitated toward Twilight Princess because I like the themes being super dark and like all of the different creatures, and Midna is like one of my favorite anti-hero sort of situations because she's a hero, but she's also kind of a jerk sometimes, and I love her. So, probably Twilight Princess.
I like a Link to the Past, because
Good one.
one, it was my first Zelda game, and two, I felt like it kind of created that classic Zelda threshold of where you get into a dungeon, you find an item that you use that lets you advance through the dungeon, and you can use it to get into other areas of the world. And I felt like that like formula. I don't know if it was like established in that game, but I feel like that was the first time I've ever experienced that. Like, and Darksiders has this, it was like evil Zelda, and I felt like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, they all had like that dungeon, master key, get the map, get the
Right.
compass, and like it kind of created this formula.
I mean, you might be right because I think the original Legend of Zelda, it was a lot less focused on the items you found in the dungeons, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But I feel like, so I have a lot of respect for that game because I feel like it kind of created that genre, that very specific formula for a game that has worked for a bunch of games thereafter.
Mhm.
For me, it's Ocarina of Time. I mean, I've replayed that game countless times. I think I might have put more time overall into Breath of the Wild, but I think only just because like how big of a game it was. But I mean, Ocarina of Time, and then my first Zelda experience was Link to the Past as well. But I think it was like shortly before Ocarina of Time, and it was just right around then that between those two games, like it was just kind of like, holy shit, this is video games. This is adventure.
Look at us all picking a different game.
I
that's
used
good.
to pick Ocarina all the time because of how drastic the musical changes are, like from area to area, and I always really liked that. But I don't know. For some reason, I've been thinking about Twilight Princess a lot lately, and I think that that's probably my favorite of all of them, just because I feel like it was a really involved story, and like it was a very adventure-y sort of game where you had to like mystery solve and figure out who these people were, and it was less of a I have to find this place and do these tasks, and more of like a, I don't know, a journey. The worst part of that game though is the wolf howling. That was like, ugh, what a terrible
Yeah, that
mechanic.
was-
It sounded awful.
It was
Oh,
certainly
like when you're singing with the
And-
wolf.
You had to like
interesting.
pitch correct the wolf, and it's like the
Ugh.
entire time.
That was
Mm,
bad.
so bad.
Yeah, there was less exploration. I think they kind of went back and forth, like, with Wind Waker, they were like, let's make a bigger game, more exploration,
Mhm.
and it
I-
still
I
had like a good amount of story.
Yeah.
But then, Skyward Sword, it had awesome story, awesome characters, but even
It's
less
very
exploration. and-
railroaded.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I didn't like
Yeah.
about the game.
And then
But
same with like
Wind
the,
Waker is an honorary second for me.
Yeah,
Wind
Wind
Waker's up
Waker's
there.
awesome.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
wanted to hate that game so much because I played it for the first time right after Twilight Princess, and I was like, I am not 3 years old. What are these graphics? But then it grew on me
Yeah, it was
very
definitely-
quickly. Like it was a
same
huge
for
difference.
me. It was
but
hard to
really cool.
like grasp that drastic change in graphics. After coming back to the HD version, I was like, holy shit, this is still awesome.
Do any of us have perfect pitch? James is asking.
I think I have relative pitch. Like I can't. If someone starts singing, if
wow.
someone starts singing a song
how
in the
come I
wrong
could still
key,
hear
it
it?
bothers me a lot. Like,
Yeah, I
and
heard an
feel the
echo.
need to correct them. So, and like if Matt's like, let's just drop tune this, then I have to like, okay, but I'm gonna need to like listen because I'm gonna be hearing it in my head and it's gonna sound wrong to me because I've sung it in this key so many times.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like I'm real weird about it.
Yeah, I don't have perfect pitch either. I mean, most musicians don't. It's not a very common thing.
I've heard you can only get it like when you're a baby.
Huh.
You like relative pitch you can pick up, but like perfect pitch is like innate.
I know that
Matt,
speakers
you're a baby, aren't you? So
Ooh.
I know
Wow.
that speakers of certain languages like Mandarin Chinese have a higher rate of being having perfect pitch. because their language is tonal. But yeah.
Cool.
Rick Beato. I don't know if anyone follows him.
I know him.
He's
or
a
of him.
YouTube. He's a YouTube guy, producer, just music influencer. His son, he started training him as a baby to have perfect pitch. And I mean, watching the videos of his son, he'll play these incredibly complex chords on the piano, and then have his son pick out each individual note, and he'll do it like this. It's incredible.
Wow. That's creepy.
Yeah, that's insane. But I think something that a lot of musicians can pick up over time with their instrument is, I guess, like relative pitch, like what Lee was saying, but especially like relative pitch with respect to your instrument. So like if you're somebody's been playing guitar for a long time and you hear somebody play an A minor chord on guitar, you're like, yeah, I know what that sounds like because you play guitar, you know what I mean? Whereas if it was played on some other instrument, maybe you wouldn't immediately be able to tell that's an A minor chord unless you were holding your guitar and could like try it out and see.
Right.
I feel like I have a pretty good ear in that sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, just like when you're tuning, like, EA, DGB. E is like, you can get pretty close without a tuner.
Yeah.
Whereas
you
it
can
like
someone-
when somebody like plays a couple of chords and they're like, oh, that sounds like that song, or that sounds like that song.
And like sometimes when I'm like tuning, I'll think of a song that like starts with a note. I'm like, all right, I need to tune an E. Let me think of a song that starts with an E, and then I'll use that as my mental reference to tune. Once you have one string in tune, you can tune the rest.
Mhm.
5 5 5 4 5.
Mm-hmm.
So Lily, when are you going to be playing more drums in a Master Sword song?
Is that a question from you or someone else?
I think Mary asked that, right?
Mary asked that.
I don't know. I guess that's up to Andy. He asked me last time, but I really like doing it, so it could
It
possibly
worked out
happen
well.
again.
I'm
It
sure
does.
there's
It's super fun.
I'm sure there will be a song where that could happen again.
Mhm.
Matt's like, I don't know about that.
No, it's a fun thing to do live. I think the audience really gets a kick out of it.
I'm still trying to find an avenue where I can play my ocarina.
That's not happening now.
Well, you wouldn't be able to play the bass at the same time.
Have somebody hold the ocarina up to your mouth and do like the
Like
fingering.
Pour the
While you're
beer
playing
in your mouth,
bass.
but instead of the
Yeah.
ocarina.
Sounds hot.
Just have someone else finger you.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Sounds like a good time.
Just had to go there.
With some pep in your step.
It's like at the depot when I was assaulted by the Latin man.
Oh no.
At Home Depot, is that what you said?
I'm so
Oh,
sorry
the
for
depot.
laughing at you.
Andy, that is charged. Jeez, oh god.
You want to tell the story for those who haven't heard it?
$20 is $20, I guess.
I guess that's all we're getting.
Sean, you're not going to tell the story?
Oh, I guess again. All right, so we were playing like this daytime show in Baltimore, and it was like 5 bands, and it was this tiny little bar called the Depot, and everyone was just getting drunk like real early. It was like I think
Was I at this one?
were you?
Was it 2018 or earlier than that?
I think maybe
it
Corey was
was-
still here.
It was December. I thought you were in the band because I think it was December 2018.
Okay, then I was at that one. That last show we played in that year.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the show where we were playing Smash at the booth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Kojo
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah. My first few shows in this band were.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, it was
Probably good that you
not a
forgot
great
about
time.
it.
For sure. So anyway, so everyone's getting real drunk. Like the show started, I think at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and people were just like getting trashed real quick. So I think we were like the 3rd or 4th band out of a lineup of 5. I think we were like the 4th band, and the last band was like Dan Wise's band, the one with like 7 people, and it was like a
Teshala or something like that. Right?
Yeah, there we go. So
And there was no stage.
no stage. Just like basically it looked like someone bricked up each side of an alley and put a bar. That's how big it was. So there was this gentleman in the front row who was really drunk. He's really into the music and like, everyone was crushed together. And when we were done, I was packing up and he was like basically head bobbling at the bar. And I went over and I was like, "You okay, dude?" And he just started talking Spanish to me. And I know a little bit of Spanish. So I was just trying to like see like, are you here with someone? Do you got a ride home? Because I didn't want this guy to be driving home like basically ready to pass out. So I was just trying to
Yeah.
find his people or see if he had people there with him. So anywho, so I'm like asking the bartender to get him water, and I'm like, trying to like, do you need someone to call a cab? And then all of a sudden this guy just lunges at me and like tries to like kiss me. And I'm like, whoa, no mas mi amigo, no mas. So I run to where Lily is and I hide behind Lily. I'm like, Lily, a guy just tried to kiss me. And Lily's like, now you know how it feels.
Is this the same guy or a different guy from the one at that same show who was like trying to hit on Lily but was so drunk that he couldn't like say anything coherent?
That was the same guy.
Same guy, okay.
Him.
He couldn't get Lily, so
No, he couldn't get Sean, so he
You
went
got
to
the
Lily.
next best thing.
Yeah, in order of attractiveness, it's Lily, Sean. Well, I'll go for the little, like a lion in the savannah.
he's kind of feminine.
Wow.
If you're drunk enough, anything can work.
Yeah.
A hole's a hole.
Matt, you're calling me
wow.
feminine?
Oh, Joe.
I'm the only one with offspring.
Good
I
work.
don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, it's a mixed bag, my friend.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
that's how I was, almost wooed by a Latin gentleman.
Yeah.
You
Great
weren't
story.
rude. He just went for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I woo. So
Definitely a top 5 Master Sword story.
Sean's stories are all the top 5 Master Sword stories.
it's true. Someone was asking
It's
me
like
about
him
the
fighting
story
Batman, the
earlier.
guy who tried to make out with him. What else? When
The-
you started
the
a mosh
mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. While I was playing,
Yep.
The hotel incident
where
Which
I,
one?
that was
Wait.
yeah, which
in
one?
Indiana.
Well, Sean
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
there.
Oh,
Sean wasn't there.
that was me though.
Oh,
That was me.
That's a good
I thought
story.
we were
though.
just talking about just Master Sword.
Oh,
in
just
general.
yeah.
Yeah.
In terms
Oh,
of
I-
general Master
okay,
Sword.
yeah.
stories,
It's a
yeah.
pretty good story.
And
I
then I,
mean, we
think
told
the
it a
trampoline
long,
one is
like
the
several
other
months
one.
ago.
Yeah,
but
we told that on another stream. You can look that up somewhere.
Yeah.
it's on YouTube, but
The
Uh,
trampoline one is definitely in the top 5 though. You were
Yeah.
so weird that day. Is
Trampoline.
this a trampoline?
Oh, that was wonderful.
They're like, Koja, were you high? He was like, no. I'm just me.
Did you guys
Yep.
know that Delaware has no taxes?
yeah, like
The
The-
entire
the
day
s-
he's just talking
right.
about taxes.
the
in
second we got into
Delaware.
Delaware, like Kojo's just going on about Delaware tax laws. And we're
For
just like
hours. It's all he would talk
no,
about.
it's because I told Matt in the car on the way up because I carpooled with Matt up to Delaware, and then Matt brought it up, I think, to you guys, and so I
Which
had
is
to
just
explain
weird
it.
That you mentioned it just randomly.
It was
Are you
right when we
so
crossed into the
starved
state.
For conversation that you just pulled that out of your ass.
It's
Like, what
the
hell?
only thing notable about the state.
Matt, pull over. I need to put on my sweater
Well, I would
vest.
like to apologize to all the people living in Delaware. I'm sure there is something more interesting in your state than your tax
Yeah,
laws.
all 1,000 of them.
We do have one Delaware fan, and he was at that show, the show that Sean, what he did.
Got
You're making
really
it
drunk.
sound way worse than it is.
Okay.
Like, you're making it sound like Sean killed somebody.
That's partially my fault because Sean was like, "Let's get hammered," and I was like, "Yeah," and then I did not follow through.
To be fair,
He was
Probably a
so
good thing
upset
that you
about it. He
didn't.
was like, "You told me you would do this," and I was like, "Sorry."
To be fair, 99% of the attendees in that show were the other bands, so
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Except
like,
that
I would-
one fucking super fan who was like really into the show.
I know. I felt
Until
so
we
bad,
started
which
playing.
is then why I didn't get hammered.
well, it's the bass. No one cares about the bass.
Yeah.
The-
And
the
then
bass
you
is
turned
incredibly
Jesse and told
important.
him how beautiful he was. And that was magical.
Oh, When
You were like,
I
you're so beautiful. I hope my daughter finds someone like you.
and I stand by it.
It was
Jesse is
so
an amazing
sweet.
man. Jesse, if you're out there, and I know you're not,
Delaware was partially colonized by Sweden. I didn't know that.
yay.
So that's one more notable thing about Delaware. There you go, Delaware.
Well, now that
Even I was a little inebriated for that show because like Sean bought
Yeah, I
me like
was-
4 beers,
I was
And
definitely
then-
not completely sober.
and then we all did a shot of whiskey or something right before we started.
I'm definitely the enabler of the band, cause like, well, you were like you weren't like new to the band, but like this was like the first like nice show I think you did, where like it was like the original lineup. Because when Kojo first joined,
The first show that wasn't a complete disaster.
yeah, well that was Baltimore. The Delaware show was a complete disaster. But
Yeah.
also at the same time, it was like I didn't want to play that show from the get go because of the guy who was running it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So this
so I
this
was
was
like-
your way to give him the
I
finger.
forgot about
Yeah.
that guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean that's
He's a
why no one.
forgettable
I feel like that's
person.
why no one was intended. So.
That is
um,
100% why no one came to that show, because everyone
Yeah.
was super pissed off at him for being such an
Alright,
asshole.
so backstory. So the promoter of this show was also like a member of a band playing in the show, and he had said some like horrible, awful, misogynistic like bullcrap, and
On social media.
on social
Mhm.
media, and we're like, f this guy, and we had to talk about dropping, but we didn't want to necessarily be like the band that drops out of shows, and we were partnering
Right.
with Send of Thunder. Also a female fronted vocalist, and we're like, what do you guys? And we just decided we're just gonna follow suit with whatever they do.
Because they were headlining.
Yeah, they were headlining.
Yeah.
So, and they're our friends, and we didn't want to like basically bail on them either. So they did the show and we did the show, but there was pretty much just like this call to arms over this promoter. So like no one showed up. It was a two show thing. It was like
Yeah,
Baltimore and then
The,
Delaware.
the first one was actually solid.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we decided to do the show, and I reluctantly did it because I was like, I think we shouldn't do it, and we ended up doing it. So I was like, fuck it. We got to Delaware. There was no one in there except for the other bands, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get everyone drunk. Fuck it. Who cares? And that's
Set
my
the two.
that's my personality anyway. And yeah, I think I bought Kojo like 4 beers, and
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to feel part of the family. Like here, Papa
He's just
stop.
trying to be a dad. It's fine. Drink up, son.
What's everyone's drink of choice? I like alcohol.
Solid choice. I usually like fruity sour beers, but they're really hard to find in terms of like good ones. Good ones are very hard to find.
Mhm.
Nevada Ollie, it'll be up on YouTube, so you can watch it and get the whole recount.
Yeah. This archive will be up on YouTube.
Word.
I
I'm
am an
fine with
IPA
most.
man.
Yeah, Andy's the IPA guy.
I love German
I-
I'm
beers.
fine with most beers and most whiskeys. I'm not super picky.
Yeah.
Alright, so go on, Matt.
I was just want to say like Hefeweizens. I love Hefeweizens. If I had to pick a beer, like that would be my beer. For mixed drinks, mojitos are like where I'm at.
Good mojitos. Nice.
Yeah, it has to be good.
Yeah, like I like mojitos. It can't be made with Sprite. I want club soda and lime and like
Anything to
fresh-
mask the taste of alcohol.
I've never had a good mojito, so
So
you guys would
beers-
have to
Oh my
show
God.
me.
Beers, I like IPAs. Wines, I like Cabernet Sauvignon, and liquor, I like whiskey and Scotch.
Good choices.
In the dead of winter, I usually switch to vino.
What is-
Keeps it
what?
warm on the inside.
What's vino?
Wine.
Yeah.
Usually cabs.
Good old cab.
I like
now that's a sword
rosés.
wine party. We should go to a winery though, when when the plague isn't out about and when
We
we're
still
all
need to take Joe
vaccinated.
to a winery.
Yeah, we do.
Oh right, yeah, we owe him a trip.
When
I'll
COVID
just
is
follow
over.
your guys' recommendations because I don't really drink wine much.
I like rosés because they're not too sweet, but they're not too dry.
I like
there's a
champagne.
lot of wines that are like that, but
Champibble.
I just like rosés.
A
Champagne.
nice prosecco.
I really got into Chardonnays.
I think I probably prefer like either prosecco or Chardonnay, like in the white category.
Yeah.
I
For
used to like
reds.
barefoot wine until I lived with Mary, and now my taste is much drier than it was before.
Because you're a fucking adult.
Mary
No
made me
more
the
Boone's
woman I
Farm.
am today.
Mary says rose all day.
Yeah,
Rosé.
rosé all day.
It says rose on the screen, okay?
I forgot
There-
the accent.
Yeah, there's no accent. It's rose. Right? That's on Mary.
Two E's Winery. They're in another state, but it's winery in Indiana.
Ooh.
Probably.
I've not heard of
No,
it
they're not around here.
This year was the first time I've ever been in Indiana.
See?
Are you
Hey,
excited to go
Callie
back?
Ollie. Callie Ollie, you know what's up.
Was it Indiana where I refilled the gas for the van and I said I couldn't understand the clerk in the store? Or was it a different state?
I don't
Might have been
know.
Wisconsin.
I don't remember this.
Does Indiana have an accent? Like, I know, like, the Midwest, like, don't you know? But, like, I don't
No,
really
I don't think
attribute that
Indiana
to
has
Oh,
that.
it was
That's
Wisconsin? Okay, I guess it was in Wisconsin. The lady asked me if I wanted fuel for the car, but I couldn't
Don't you
understand what she
know.
said.
Don't you
I
fool
know-
the cop?
You want fuel for the car?
I was like,
Car?
"What?" She's like, "Gasoline, sir." I was like, "Oh, yes."
She was like, "Are you human?
She's
You
like,
need some
would you like some
gas?"
fuel for your car, sir? I was like, "Am I in America?" What's going on?
Wow, Kojo.
We have
I
a
feel like
bunch
I'm
of
in
weird.
Europe.
We have a bunch of weird experience at gas stations. What did that girl say to you, Kojo? Like, what show was it? It was the
Was it Florida thing?
I think it was
or-
Florida. Like, we're on our way down. Yeah, I think it was going to Florida or Georgia. I can't remember which one. But like, I think she complimented your hair, and you were just like, "Thanks."
I vaguely remember what you're talking about. But yeah, I don't know if I didn't understand what she said or if I was just like not paying attention or what.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
But-
Well, she said it in a weird. I don't remember how she said it, but
Mhm.
like my brain interpreted it as like she's complimenting your haircut, and like you were just like, "Thanks," and like just turned and left. It was,
Yeah.
and I was just watching the whole thing like that was awkward.
Yeah, because like I probably wasn't expecting a random person to just like call out to me from the side.
Hello, your hair looks nice.
So,
Nice
thank you.
hair.
From like 50 feet away.
Andy
Yeah.
never does that.
Wow.
Aw.
It's got a nice beard though.
He does.
It's got the best beard in the band.
I wish
It
I
does.
could grow.
I
That
can't.
manly
I can't
beard.
grow
Me
mine that
too.
long. It gets super itchy.
Yeah.
Not
You just
fun.
got. You
You
gotta
say
stick
me
through
too,
that.
Lily?
Nope.
I did.
Soup.
I'm the only one. Like whenever Sean made the Funko Pops of the band, I was like, "Oh, I'm the only one without a beard," and
Well, Kojo
it's
doesn't
kind of
normally.
weird when you look at it in toy form.
Kojo doesn't normally grow much facial hair.
Yeah, I usually
has
keep it
it?
about this length.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a swear in a culture.
It
Oh my
is, yeah.
Oh, this? What,
Yeah.
Good work,
Yeah,
Kojo. You
no,
just told
okay.
our entire fan base to fuck off.
what are all the various ones? Can I get us banned on it? No.
Can I? How many different ways can I flip you off? Could you just tell me now so I can do them?
Except gas station flirtation. That's gas station flirtation is a good line, Mary. I like that
Gas
line.
station
It's
flirtation.
funny-
I actually haven't been hit on very much in gas stations, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's a bad place to get hit on.
Right? That's a creepy place. I used to get hit on a
That's
lot more
where I
gas
get hit on
stations in
mostly.
Pennsylvania, but not so much. Not so much anywhere else.
Well, there was that one guy who was waiting outside the bathroom in the pizza place in Chicago.
I don't think Matt wants us to tell that story.
Hey, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
whatever.
I bet he doesn't.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm sorry, what?
No, you didn't do anything.
You
is what you
abandoned
meant to
me.
say.
Nothing.
You did nothing.
I was there.
You did nothing. That's what you did wrong.
I was in the building.
Yeah, you were in the building.
What was it that you said? If something were wrong, you would have heard it.
Yeah. I have great hearing.
Obviously not, because you don't listen ever.
Yeah.
That is accurate. And I'm not going to tell that story for your benefit, so you're welcome.
You're welcome. See, y'all getting a taste of it. A passive-aggressive taste.
But for the record, you
Reminds
did
me
do
of home.
something wrong.
Yeah, right. It's weird not practicing like every week and seeing you
It
guys
is
all the
weird.
time.
Yeah. We practiced
Occasionally,
once.
we just send each other memes so that we know we're still alive.
Yeah,
Well, we talk in the Facebook chat all the time.
Mhm.
yeah, we do, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not.
It's nice having like the routine of like everyone coming over and like playing through a set and
Yeah.
things. you
Going
never-
upstairs, eating Sean's food, playing games.
I love cooking for you guys.
We love eating the food that you cook because it means we don't have to cook and we get to eat
Man.
your food.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna cook a brisket today.
That was the most disappointing part of this day.
Yeah, yeah. We were
was
gonna
looking
do
forward
this
to it.
like together live, and then
Mhm.
like all this COVID crap started happening. I was like, you know, we need to be responsible and do the Zoom and blah 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 blah. And Mary on my way.
Yeah, because we,
Right?
we've gotten together a few times in the last few
Yeah.
months. Like,
But that was before it
Yeah.
surged
Yeah.
again.
yeah, that's why.
But I promise I will make you all brisket when the tide has passed and things go
Yeah.
back down. I will make you a good meal,
The best
and
brisket.
yeah, we will celebrate.
I could do those burgers.
Did
again.
you
Those
always
burgers
cook,
were
Sean, or did you start
awesome.
like later in life?
I think I started later in life. Like growing up, my mom was like a wretched cook, and like I just like they overdid everything, and it was just
Yeah, my
not
parents were the
good.
same way.
I think it was just like a sign of the time. It's like you
Yeah.
can't have
Well, I
meat
thought
or anything.
I thought I hated steak for like most
Yeah.
of my childhood and early adult life until I had like
hell
a
is
good.
wrong with you?
Well, I never had a good
because
steak.
he was
It
getting
was
bad
all
steak.
overdone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think just in my 20s, like when I went off on myself by on my own, and I had like an apartment, and I started cooking food on my own and just looking up how to do stuff on the internet. I feel like I have
They
like
had the internet in your 20s?
All right, Kojo, young man, listen up.
Some sass coming in that
But
direction.
I also feel like I have
Mhm.
like a ratatouille sense about it. Like I can just imagine like flavors that are gonna go well together, and I love cooking, and I'm definitely probably the better cook in my family. But I also like love to do it. I love, maybe it's like I have some Italian in me somewhere, but I just love like creating a big meal and having a bunch of family over. and
Sean's an Italian
friends,
mother, is what he's
Yeah.
saying.
it's like, oh, you're too skinny. You need to eat some more. And
Oh, you want some more? I see you clear your plate. Let me give you more.
but that that's my love language. Like I want to see people like take a bite and just be like, it's that gives me joy. It brings me joy.
Marie Kondo. Does
Yeah.
this bring you joy?
It does, and so I just because I love it, and I think I'm good
See,
at
my
it.
mom
so-
was a great cook. I don't know why all your moms suck at cooking so much.
I mean, my
but,
mom is a
like,
great cook too.
right? Kojo and I are in the great cooking
My
mother
mom's
club.
a fantastic cook.
Oh, 3 against 2. What you gonna do
Yeah.
now?
Shut up, Andy, with your wonderful parents.
Aw, she's so sad.
Mary wants me to FedEx her brisket.
I mean, I asked you to FedEx me brisket and it never happened. So, Mary, I wouldn't hold
Did
your
you?
breath.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to hear that, Ali Capone. If you're being serious,
What happened?
he said my mom abandoned me, but I don't know if he's joking or being
Oh, I'm
serious.
so sorry.
Damn.
That's awful.
If it's any consolation, my dad did too, and I wish he would have stayed away.
Ooh.
Fuck that guy.
yes, some of us have complicated family tapestries.
That produces great musicians.
It's true. Although I have a great family. I got super lucky. I didn't realize how lucky I was until I got older and people started to tell me about their families and I was like, I had no idea how lucky I was. I probably shouldn't have been such an
Such a what?
Ooh, the
You
suspense.
froze.
asshole. Hopefully next time because I was such a jerk as a teenager.
Wait, as a teenager?
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
I'm an asshole to you guys now. I'm not an asshole to my mother. I respect my mother.
Oh,
I met your
Lucky
mother.
her.
She's a lovely lady.
She is a lovely lady.
see, that's something black kids can't get away with. You can't be an asshole to your parents.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
black.
You didn't know?
I don't.
Matt.
I don't see color,
Not happening.
Kojo. I don't see color.
I lived in the country, like, we got our asses beat. That
Mhm.
was a thing that happened. But as
You're
a
gonna whoop your
teenager,
ass.
you just kind of like scream at your well, in my experience, my dad and I would have like screaming matches and then we would each like slam doors in separate parts of the house and
Yeah.
Your dad's kind of an
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, I've
Can't
I've
happen.
met your dad.
Listen.
You're very similar in a lot of ways.
we are both very aggressive human beings.
That's why I said asshole.
A little bit. I mean, but so am I. I know where I got it from.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I'm
why
glad
I
you
have
said
such a lovely, bubbly, loud personality. Because of my dad. That's how I
I feel
word it.
I feel like I took the positive aspects of my parents and I do my best to not take any of the negative aspects of my parents because I observed and I learned by bad example. Don't do those things.
Yeah.
So I avoid doing those things.
I feel like everybody tries to
Yeah.
do that.
Well,
For sure.
I feel like that's the one thing my parents gave me is like, don't do this. They were great examples of that.
The silent
Alright.
stewer.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But yeah,
Ollie.
my dad's
Sorry.
actually not an
Mm.
asshole. He's like a really nice person. It's just sometimes we have very different opinions about things. And being that he is more isolated than I am, I think in a lot of ways, I think it sort of rubs off on him in a way where it makes him seem more thick-headed than he actually is, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think if he were to be given the situations that I have been able to experience because, he's older, like there is a generational situation sometimes with family members of that age bracket and how they were raised very much affects them that way. So
Right.
considering everything, he turned out pretty well. So
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. My parents
Yeah,
are
it's-
fine. I really have no. Well, I have some complaints, but I won't get into them.
he has complaints, but he doesn't want them to be on the internet.
No, we don't need them documented.
No, my
And I
parents have been super
guess-
supportive. I've been so lucky with them being behind me with all of my musical endeavors for
Hmm.
forever. Like my parents have gone to MagFest.
I can say
Like,
my parents
dad
have now
is
too.
always
like,
a Kickstarter supporter.
Yeah.
Like, my parents are pretty great. I can't really complain that much.
when my parents showed up to MagFest, I was legitimately surprised because what they do is they always say like, yeah, we want to go, but then like the day of, they're like, nah. And it's not because they don't want to see me; it's because they're just kind of antisocial.
Uh-huh.
They're
Yeah, my
adulting
dad-
the hardest way. They're like, cancel plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's pretty supportive of like creative stuff as well.
Your dad was so
I
like
appreciate that.
so proud that
I
show he
know,
came
he
when
was
we were
so
opening up.
sweet.
I haven't met your dad yet because I wasn't at that show.
Oh, that's
Oh
true,
yeah, that's
you
right.
were.
Matt wasn't there. I totally
Yeah.
forgot.
I was in Europe, so no regrets.
Whatever. We can't even go to Europe right now.
Was I at that show? I don't think I met your dad.
I mean, you
Sorry?
probably
You were
just didn't
there?
talk to him. You might have been
That's-
setting up
checks out.
drums.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like
usually
your
the
dad
case.
talked to me after
Yeah.
the show, though, Kojo. I don't know if I talked to him before. Maybe I did. I don't remember.
It was heaven.
I remember talking to him. I
Shigrano.
just don't remember what it was.
I remember talking to him. He was just like beaming. He's like, he bought like $200.
Yeah,
worth of
he bought like
merchandise.
10 shirts.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and he was just like, "You guys were so good." So, he was just
Aw.
beaming ear to ear, and I was just
So
like,
excited.
"Someone who cares."
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
It was a.
I mean, I feel like Andy's dad is the same way. Like he's
Oh,
always so
and-
Oh
proud.
yeah,
Such a proud papa.
I just scroll through Andy's feed just to see supportive.
yeah.
He's like,
God.
that's my son.
Yeah, he's amazing. You guys are so great. And I'm
Man, we
Yeah.
have some real proud dads. Like
I
I'm pretty
haven't
sure my dad
seen
went around
Andy's
to people
parents.
at MagFest that he didn't know, going, "That's my daughter." When I was on main stage, he was just wandering through the crowd.
see
Has
that?
to make sure he
That's my
talks to
daughter.
every
I
Right
person.
made
there.
that.
He's awesome.
I did that.
I made
No
that.
regrets.
No regrets.
So funny.
That show in particular, like that's the show I wish my parents had gone to. Although like the one they did go to was a fairly big show. Like I was surprised at how many people were in the audience for that one, which was
That was
the
amazing.
The first mag show this year.
yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had technical issues, but yeah, there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's like a whole hallway in the
Yeah, it was,
Gaylord Resort.
Yeah,
crammed full of people.
I hope that they can get some better production going for that space.
Yeah, because it was pretty much
Yeah, I
just
think
their game streaming setup, and then they tried to apply it to music,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
didn't work.
And
It
you know,
works
it's
in
any
some ways and not in others.
you know, they're just kind of volunteer people, you know, running the booth, and you know, it's just if they don't really know what they're doing or really care, then it's just going to sound like garbage.
Yeah,
I mean, like, and especially, you know, the mics for the drums were garbage. They none of them could like stay in place. So, you know, just pointing like upwards away from the drums. So it was just like, what's the point?
Huh.
I mean, you
That
know,
sucks.
and it's just drums. Who gives a shit about drums? But like, you know, it's just
Honestly, given the
It's
fact that it was
incredibly
in a hallway of
important.
the
It
Gaylord, I'm
is
surprised
the
that your
most
drums were
important, I
fine.
would argue.
Yeah, probably.
like
But
a
yeah,
crappy drum sound, can ruin the entire thing, even if everybody else sounds great.
Mhm.
But
But, you
the
know, it's just-
following night we had Chris,
Yeah.
and
oh yeah, it's fantastic.
That
that sounded
really
that
good.
sounded really good.
Yeah, he did
He
great.
really
too
knows
bad,
his shit.
Too bad it was like 3 in the morning and normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saturday.
that was-
David Weiss was
remember almost
fucking
nothing
there.
from that
That's
show.
true.
David Weiss came.
He apparently saw some of our show.
I still have no idea what he looks like. I was like searching, and I was
Old
like,
guy,
He
I,
looks
no
like
hair.
me
I
without a
don't even know
beard.
what I'm looking for.
Ben Cohen from Power Glove was there too.
I
Like,
did.
Yeah.
I got
that's
to
who we were
meet
talking
him.
about, Yeah.
Daniel
I
Cam
met
was
he
there.
came to see
him without
us?
realizing who he
Yeah.
was, and was chatting him up. And then Matt was like, "He's in Power Glove," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's why he looks so familiar."
Yeah, he stayed till like 4 o'clock in the morning talking to you
Yeah.
and me.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're Facebook friends now. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
probably with pretty much everybody at this
Yeah.
point.
I think I
a
just
cool
friended him
dude.
today on Facebook.
Oh, you had to friend him.
Oh, word. You had to friend somebody. Something.
No,
But yeah, that show, that second show sounded great. It's a shame that it was so late, and I was already getting sick because I got really sick after MagFest, and I was already getting
Con
sick
flu.
by the time we were playing that show.
I-
So I felt like shit.
I don't know. Like, so obviously I wasn't in the audience to hear us in the first show, but like I thought the other band sounded all right. I didn't really. It wasn't like horrible.
At the first show,
Yeah, the Guinness.
it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. It doesn't help that it's a giant hallway, so that acoustically is already kind of a challenge. And then, like Andy said, the people doing the sound didn't seem experienced with live music at
Hey,
all.
Ollie's 3-year-old.
Oh, hi, baby.
Hey, baby girl is a baby girl or baby boy?
And but yeah, I just felt like it sounded kind of like washed out and tinny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We've had.
I mean,
worse
people
sounding
still
shows.
had fun at our show. So
Yeah,
usually technical difficulties bother the band way more than they bother the
Oh, for
audience.
sure.
yeah.
Well, there was a lot of mic feedback. I remember that.
Yeah, there was
Oh yeah. that was
during
really good.
during Terrible Fate.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't think they had a whole lot of vocalists before us, right? Was
Well,
Professor
yeah,
Shy Guy
Super
was playing?
Mario, Doctor.
Professor Shy Guy?
Yeah.
Was he? He was before.
I
us.
mean, I sang with a different band before we went on.
Yeah, that was one
Yeah,
song.
the Escape from the City.
Yeah, it was just the one.
I don't know. Trying to give them some credit, but maybe they don't deserve it.
One cool thing is like, so when I went into the crowd and did my like crowd interacting while playing thing, I went up and I I had like $20 like stuffed in my little medieval pouch, and I like threw I think it was just $10 while I was playing because it was also a charity event. So I during the performance I donated to the charity event, and then after we were done, I was backing up. They came and they're like, "Oh, after you did that, we had so many people just donate because
That's
everyone
so
saw
cool.
that."
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was like really awesome that like because I did that as like just kind of like a stunt because that's what I do. Like I'm an entertainer, and I apparently look like a super villain right now, Lily. But I went and did that, and then apparently they said like their donations like tripled from that point. So I thought that was really cool.
Where's our kick? I'm kidding.
What's the hardest part of
Yeah,
being in
kickback.
a band? Asked Ollie Capone.
Being in a band,
It's
It's
like
a lot of work.
it is a lot of work. It's also like running a business almost, except no
Mhm.
one gets paid and there's no real hierarchy. So there's like there's no boss. So if
no, there's
like
definitely a hierarchy. All right, so imagine having like 4 wives, all right, and
sounds nice on paper.
yeah. It's I mean, no, it's like you're in a relationship because you're all like invested in a mutual goal, and you spend a ton of time together, and you're relying on all these different people to hold up their end of the bargain, but everyone has their own opinions too. So it's like you're dating 4 people simultaneously. So like that's the easiest thing I could say. It's like so
You have experience with that show?
I mean, I used to be more. No, I'm just.
Oh, no.
No, but like it's. I feel like that's the easiest way to compare it to is like being because you're in like a relationship with a bunch of other people with a lot of opinions, and you have like strong feelings about specific things, and sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's really hard. So that's my 2 cents. Y'all can.
I think there's two things. I think Matt endured a lot to get us to this point. I think it's amazing how long he kept this band together
2013.
before like the
was-
core members were stuck.
Before Lily
And,
joined, it was a very difficult thing because like people were just like leaving all the time. They're like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And this is usually
Yeah.
the case with most bands. Like
Yeah,
people-
I was about to say, if you've ever tried to start a band, you know that it is very difficult.
yeah, because if
We're Kojo's first band.
Yeah, first functioning band.
it
And
yeah,
then I also think he got us to this point where we have like a solid enough fan base where we're past the point of having to invest a ton of money individually, and that's a big thing.
yeah,
you know,
that's rare. That doesn't happen for
um,
most bands.
And at that point, we can all kind of find our own reason for sticking around, whatever that is. And
Brisket.
and brisket, exactly.
Hey.
Yeah, you better get on that, Sean. Coach is about to leave.
No, this slat of beef has anything to say about it.
And then I think I think in general, like playing the conventions, there's just kind of this built-in fan base, and it helps us feel like, I don't know, for me it helps us feel like there's an audience for this.
Yeah.
in,
It's
like,
rewarding. Like
It's
we
definitely
get
rewarding.
we get that feedback from people, and most bands like they don't have like a fan base. They might have like a few friends who will come to shows or whatever.
Mhm.
But like having actual people who we don't know personally, they're just people who came to us from however they came.
Like, you guys want to watch us drink alcohol and talk about nonsense on YouTube. So thank
You
you.
guys,
Yeah.
you guys helped us raise over $17,000 on our last Kickstarter, which is
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
After COVID, will you please come to Philly? Asks Iron Penguin.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll definitely
Listen,
get
I
I
mean,
don't
we
know.
wanna
I've
play
heard a lot
everywhere
of
we
stuff
can.
about Philly lately.
We had plans
we would
to
love
go,
to
like,
go there.
to go to the Northeast.
only if you can get Gritty in the audience.
Yeah.
Yes, great.
Gritty?
What
An
does that
American
mean?
hero.
Okay, you need to look that up on YouTube when we're done here, Kojo.
Gritty,
gotta
the
look up
American
Gritty.
hero.
Doesn't register.
Thanks, Iron Penguin. We believe in you. Gritty's amazing. If you don't know Gritty, definitely check him out.
That's a hockey mascot?
Yeah.
All right. I
Well,
don't know
he,
anything
he's
about
really
sports.
intense.
he is basically the mascot for Philly at this point.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very intense.
You've seen him, I'm sure, in memes. He's the giant orange
Yeah.
guy with like
Orange,
giant
hairy,
bulging eyes.
Muppet-looking guy.
He looks scary as fuck.
I know about the Philly.
Even the
Philly
Swedish
Frenetic.
guy knows. Shigrano
Yeah.
is like, yeah, he's a mascot for the Phillies.
Yeah, that's pretty
Jeez,
funny.
Kojo.
I'm surprised you guys do. You guys don't watch sports.
It's a meme,
Whatever, I
man.
was
Exactly, but we
yeah,
know
I
who he
what is.
He's a big time meme. Like he's all
Yeah.
over the fucking place.
He's an American hero, is who he is.
Hey, I've shared his memes in our chat, so I don't know how you
I have
still.
too. Like I shared that whole thing about Philly.
Wasn't the NHL like gone for a while? Wasn't it like almost just completely gone?
Yeah, I think they skipped the first season because of COVID.
I mean, before that, like, wasn't it almost just kind of like not a thing?
No,
Pretty sure the NHL like almost was over.
I don't think so.
Somebody in the chat, back me up here.
I
No.
think you're
Everyone's like,
reading
no.
things up.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Iron Penguin says no.
What are we talking
I
about?
don't know.
It's a good question.
Well,
Alright,
I was
so
talking
we
about.
missed a question.
Maybe that's an alternate universe.
What was the question we missed?
Let me scroll back up 1 second.
There was a question I was like in
Which
the middle of
song
answering, but I kind of
That
forgot
you've
about it.
created is your favorite.
Who asked that?
What song?
Which song that you've created is your favorite?
I destined one. For me, at least.
Yeah, that's definitely your best drum part. Kidding. For me, probably Tower of Stone. Still,
For me, probably Forgotten in Stone.
yeah.
Stone.
I'm gonna have to back up Kojo. Like Forgotten in the Stone, I think is pretty great.
Yeah, it's an excellent song.
Depending on how some of the future songs turn out, one of them might take that answer, but it depends on how it turns out in the end. Because like we said
We'll stick
before,
with
we just have
published.
demos.
Just stick
Yeah.
with
Just
published
sticking
stuff.
with published stuff. Yeah, probably Forgotten in Stone.
Favorite Master Sword song, Andy and Lily.
Oh, did Andy leave too when you were asking about the?
No, he said a joke answer.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, he said my destined one. Because
Oh,
they
that's
asked
pretty.
that.
He's
Well,
allowed
he asked
to like.
that we had a hand in creating. So
Hmm.
Honestly, one of my favorite drum parts that I've put together was for the second half of Tower of Stone.
All right, so 2 Forgotten in Stone.
I mean, I
2
wouldn't say
Tower
that's
of
like my
Stone.
favorite Master Sword song, but
Well, that was the question. So why can't you answer the question? What are you hiding?
wait, what is the question?
What are
I
you
thought
hiding?
that-
Where's your?
What are you
first
hiding?
answer?
I really love them all.
Oh, that's a bullshit answer.
The ones without lyrics.
Which is what,
it's been
one?
so long since we played anything from Shadow and Steel, so it's just kind of it's hard.
I mean,
to
we,
think about.
we still play a couple of songs from Shadow and Steel.
Like what?
Let me show you the night
That's gonna be my favorite
yeah.
one.
and something and Kiss. We play Kiss.
Kiss of the
Yeah,
Flame.
Yeah.
those are two of my favorites. I love those songs. I
Yeah,
feel like I pick favorites for each album. It's hard
My-
to pick an
I do
overall
the same,
favorite.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
never the
Well,
same
we
as
only
yours.
have 2 albums, so
Yeah,
Well,
my favorite
Eddie Bob.
part of Kiss is like the I guess like all the crazy instrumental stuff in the middle.
The breakdown. That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool.
No, I pick whatever songs Lily doesn't like as my favorites.
That's fair. You picked oh, what was that one that I hate?
That doesn't narrow
Tower?
it down.
That doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah, I picked Tower of Stone.
Yep, that's the one I figured that you picked. Yep. I just couldn't think of the name of it because I never listened to it because I hate it. It's just I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. And that doesn't mean that it's not a good song. It's just not a song that I like. Like there are songs that we play or record that not all of us are going to agree on, not all of us are going to like, but that doesn't mean that they're not good songs. So
That's how I feel about Let Me Show You the Night. Sorry.
Well,
It's easy.
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
he's like, that's true.
I actually like that song, but
I love that song.
it's not my favorite Master Sword song, but
It's one of my favorites to play live. Like when I think of a favorite song, it's usually one that I enjoy playing live more than others, just because like the live experience is pretty much why I do this.
Hmm.
So
I mean, for me, that would be The Mountain, I think. That's for
I'm always exhausted by the time we get there. So I'm just like, oh, thank God, an easy song to get us to the end.
yeah, but it feels like the one we have the most fun with.
I think my favorite live moment is Hero of Time, the breakdown part in the
Hey,
middle.
I was gonna say
I
Hero of
love
Time
that
is one of my favorite to play live, actually.
Yeah, like
love
when,
playing
when
this
I
one
had that
live.
conclave
So high energy.
of metal guys circling around me as I was playing in
Mm.
the middle of the crowd.
Yeah.
That hit some.
It's a cool moment. Checking that off his bucket list.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
was
perfect
pretty
moment to
empowering.
windmill.
pretty empowering.
I feel so special.
Yeah, that's a good one to play live. Again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite song, but
A Bloody History is probably another one of my favorites to play live
That's a fun
because
one
I
too.
get to play the drums and like scream at the same time, which
Which
is super
it'll
fun.
that
Which Lily tends to do on her own anyway.
Yeah.
So
you
I mean,
hearing
I'll
you
play
say
the
that
drums while I scream most of the
you
time.
just smack nearby objects and scream at the top of your lungs in your room.
So that's why Andy asked me to play drums. I get it.
you didn't like that song for so long.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't. It was so hard to write to because Matt wouldn't change anything, which in retrospect is very good because like that song ended up being amazing, but it was just so hard to see it. And sometimes that'll happen with different songs. Like if I can't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
of anything,
I liked it
can't
from
think
the
of anything.
get go, but I also had trouble sort of seeing how it would be in its final form until you added vocals to it.
right?
Because like when
Yeah.
when you're the one who wrote the song or arranged it, you know in your head how you want it to be or how it's going to be in the end. But everybody else doesn't know what's in your head.
Yeah.
So that's one of the hardest things about being in a band.
It
Going back
is.
to an earlier question is you have the idea in your head of how this song will sound when it's complete, but everybody only hears the unfinished demo version. They're like, I don't get it, and so you can't really translate that over to them.
Whenever I hear one of your new songs, Kojo, I just like I know it's good, but like I just can't understand like how it's supposed to end up.
Yeah.
And like so I feel
And
for
I'm
Lily.
always super anxious for them to like hear my vocal parts for the first time because like what if they don't like it? Like this is already what I have in my head for this song. So
I find that really weird because we almost
at
never
this-
have.
I know. It's like when
it's just
Yeah,
we're
we've
like,
never been
no,
like,
really?
that's not it. It's
Well-
always
Yeah,
awesome.
and most
there's
we
always
have like a
first time.
small.
There's always a first time.
I mean I usually like it, but I have in the past said I don't like certain sections. I don't
Yeah, like
keep
sometimes
that to
there's a
myself.
small.
I don't know if those
like,
have ever
suggestion,
changed.
but-
The
sometimes they
section.
do. Sometimes.
You've been like, I don't like this, and I'm like, too bad. I don't remember. If we,
Change
I think
your
the only one that we
voice.
went back and forth on the most, I think, was Tower of Stone, and that one I think we ended up writing together
Yeah.
because
there's
it
a
was
lot of,
so frustrating. Like that was probably like top 5 most tense writing experiences in Master Sword was Tower of Stone. Like A Bloody History, we didn't really get to that point because I just kept going back to it and being like, just leave me alone with it for a little bit longer and I'll keep trying to figure it out. But
Mhm.
Tower of Stone, I was like, I'm so done with this. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. and
Would you say? Sorry to cut you off, Matt. But would you say that playing in Master Sword has like expanded your approach to writing vocals at all, or it's always been the same for you?
If anything, I think it narrows it because I feel a little bit limited genre wise. Like it's hard to not feel repetitious in writing in the Zelda universe. I feel like it's challenging to not sound repetitious, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Mhm.
especially with the album that we're working on right now, like I'm trying really hard to not repeat the same words that I've been using or like, it's just
Mhm.
you have to it's a struggle to maintain like the lore while not sounding like, well, this is basically the same thing that she's singing on this other song.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's more challenging in that I have to get more creative. So yes and no, I guess. Like I don't know. It's hard to say. Like it's a challenge, but I definitely wouldn't say that it's like necessarily broadened my skill set, if that
Mhm.
was your question.
Okay.
So it will though. Like there are some things that I'm working on for the next album that I've never worked on previously. So that will be an interesting situation. And I'm sort of doing that. I'm sort of forcing that upon myself at this point because it's things that I've wanted to do for a while. So I'm excited to give it a shot. And
To
we'll
answer
see if it
Iron
sucks.
Penguin, do you have a loose direction as to where the next album will head?
I'd
gonna
say
be
it's
a
more
dark
more
as
than
A very
Yeah.
loose.
firm, a very
So
firm direction.
it's
of where I think.
it's an album we've kind of been planning for since probably Shadow and Steel was released because we've been
Yeah, like
talking about it for
when
a
I
long time.
joined the band in 2018, they were already talking about it. So yeah.
We're very
So-
excited.
So whatever form that album takes is been kind of like in flux, but I think we may have settled on how we're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
definitely it's going to be more. I wouldn't call it necessarily a concept album, but it's more conceptual in its nature.
Yeah,
More focused.
Yeah.
conceptual album.
Yes, conceptual but not concept. I would agree with that. assessment.
Concept like.
But it's gonna be big.
It's definitely going to be a huge album.
Yeah.
We kind of did the Final Door as a way to. We wanted to release something pretty soon after Shadow and Steel and not wait for forever. So we did a kind of a shorter album with that.
It was also
So,
a good way
we could
for
work on
us to
this
get
one.
used to writing with this group of
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 people.
Yeah.
Why are you doing the side eyes, Mary? You know exactly. You're in the chat we're in.
Yeah.
You know exactly what we're doing.
Mary knows all the ins
She
and outs,
knows.
and she's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
She knows and she accepts bribes in the form of Pinot Gris and cats.
You say caps?
Cats. Like
Cats.
the animal.
So not like Fallout.
Not like the
No.
movie.
Not like bottle caps. You know.
Send her a Blu-ray of Cats, the movie.
The new one. Then you'll get
new
no
one.
answers ever and she'll never speak to you again because that movie was the worst.
I'm sorry you even wanted to see it.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I'm not gonna watch that.
It was terrible. The only reason I watched it was so that I could listen to the podcast. Why did this get made? And then I couldn't watch it that day anyway because I was busy. So I watched it for
I
literally
wasted
no
3
reason.
hours of my life to listen to a podcast that I didn't end up listening to.
Exactly.
Life without kids.
Listen, that podcast is
Uh.
amazing though.
I wouldn't know.
It's so good. Have less kids, then you can listen to more podcasts.
I'm working on
Just put them back.
Put the kids back.
the return to sender.
Return to Sender. Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works.
But don't they come from the store?
Is that what your
Kojo,
parents
we'll
told
have a
you?
conversation off camera.
Kojo's pretty young. Maybe he hasn't had the birds and the bees talk
Yeah.
yet.
Let me send you a link. You guys.
I'll send you 2 links.
Yeah.
One with the information about Philadelphia.
There's a whole,
and next
there's
one
a whole
about
hub
sex.
that explains this.
The next I am looking forward to it too. Like a lot. It's been something I've wanted to do for years.
Yeah. Hopefully, we won't disappoint you guys.
Well, don't tell him that.
Why?
Hopefully, we disappoint you guys.
Yeah. It won't be anywhere near as cool as you're expecting.
Right.
There you go.
Talk it down a lot. Set the expectations low. We
This
can.
is gonna make
There's nowhere to go
Epoch look
but up.
great.
I'll be surprised if you can even make out the instruments or anything. It's just gonna be a jumble of noise.
We're just releasing an entirely blank CD. Like it's not your CD player. That's how we wanted it.
Tea time with Dingle.
Someday it's gonna happen.
When
As
we're
we're
all
rolling
very,
in the dough.
very
Of the movie
bored.
Low.
Weird.
I'd like to point out on YouTube in my recommended videos is Friends. Ross Geller without laugh track equals psychopath.
I mean, that's pretty accurate
I
though.
don't-
He's an
I don't-
insane person.
Yes,
but why
true,
is that
but
in your
I just
recommended video?
I don't know why that's just like it's directly underneath Master Sword: A Bloody History official.
Yep. Sounds right.
I don't know why that would
I
be
feel like it's
the
saying
next
something about
thing.
you, Andy.
Maybe.
It's
What are you
because
watching?
secretly we're covering the opening of Friends now.
Yep. That's
Oh,
that's the next album. It's going to be different versions of the Friends opening.
I mean, no one ever told you life was gonna be this way. So
Yeah, a lot of shows with laugh tracks just kind of fall apart if you take them out because I mean they're written around them. They're planned to have the laugh track. You know,
Yeah,
in there.
because like without the laugh track, they just kind of stand there after the punchline
Yeah.
and wait for the laughter to end, and it's just awkward.
There's some really awkward moments in Friends that should never have had a laugh track there too. Like they're having really serious conversations, and then there's like a random laugh, and I'm like, that's not funny.
That's me.
Like why?
yeah, that is you, Kojo.
Kojo's like, oh, she can't have a baby.
I'm sterile. Ah!
What is wrong with you, Kojo?
I have a dark sense of humor.
I mean,
That is beyond having a dark sense of humor. That's just mean.
I honestly don't like it when shows like that try to be too serious because they obviously don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can appreciate the fact that at least they make the characters more real.
Well,
Not
yeah.
why
Like
I
if there's
watch
someone
Friends.
who really idolizes this character and they're also having issues with infertility, I feel like that's
I
an
don't know.
inclusive
I mean,
situation.
that's maybe why I preferred Seinfeld to Friends.
Seinfeld is better.
Yeah, I mean, there was no moments in Seinfeld where you're just like trying to have a heartfelt moment.
I could never get
It was
into Seinfeld.
all tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
played to my sensibilities a bit more, I guess.
Well, if every show was like that, then all shows would be boring. So
Well,
You'd
yeah, you can't have
different-
it. You can't have
different
everything be
shows.
the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, James is right about the laugh track. Most of it's canned. It's easier to work with.
You know, it's kind of messed up when you think about that. Most of the people on the laugh tracks are dead.
Kojo.
Pretty metal though. It's the laughter of the dead.
Oh my.
What's the deal with this album?
What, the new album?
Yeah, that's Mary. Pipe down, it'll come out when it comes out.
Where do
What?
you guys want me to start with working on drums?
You mean for like
Should I
the new
start on?
stuff? I mean, we can't really talk
Yeah.
about that on stream, can we?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
without
He's like,
saying
"Eh."
without saying which one.
I mean,
Third
I think
one on the drive. And the
I
first
can tell
one-
you separately from this stream which ones I have stuff for.
okay. So you've been all right.
Been sitting on my ass doing nothing, jackass. Of course I've been working on stuff.
Well, okay. So yeah, I don't want to tell Andy to work on anything unless we know that that's the final format the song's going to be in, and we don't know that until everything's there. So
Right. Thank you for clarifying that point for me.
Well,
I
the
was totally
audience-
unaware of how our song process.
I'm not talking to
process
you.
worked.
More so, are there any songs that you're like on the fence of it being on the album at all? That's
I
what
can't
I'm
answer.
saying.
I can neither confirm nor deny that on this.
I think
stream.
I think we'll have to answer your questions after the stream,
Yeah,
man.
we can't do this right now, man.
Yeah, Shigrano, you saw it. You saw it.
Oh,
Yep,
what?
yep.
Read the chat.
I can't.
Oh, okay. Shigrano
You could
"Oh,
sense
there's
the
spark
animosity.
between them. LOL. And I'm like, yeah, you,
This is all the
that's-
time, man.
yeah.
All the time.
Both alphas.
They're like an old married couple.
Yeah, we haven't physically
No.
assaulted each other yet, so that's
They're like
cool.
Highlander.
There can be only one.
Master Highlander.
I feel
Oh,
like that's a more accurate explanation, as we're just different Highlanders trying to.
they're
cut
both
off
just
each
trying to
other's
cut each
heads.
other's heads off. It's fine.
Yeah. Being in a band is tough sometimes.
Have you ever thought about civil discourse?
No.
Putting your knee jerk reactions aside and having a calm conversation.
No.
Nah.
That's what I do.
Fine. Camera
Must be
is-
nice.
Camera is cutting out and.
I think I must be going through a tunnel.
I'm the centrist. I actually have a short temper, but I can just put it aside most of the time.
I would love to see you mad, Kojo.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
I
If-
think
if
I
When
would.
Kojo rage quits for
It'd
real.
be the last
Not
time
if
we
it was
saw him.
aimed at me, but
Yeah.
like to watch it happen. I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah.
He wants to
if-
watch it from a safe distance.
That's the hate.
My friends have said that if I'm angry with you, you fucked up. You know, you messed up. It's your fault. You know what I mean? Because like I do
I don't
everything I can to keep everything like.
Kojo, you are super chill. Like I
calm,
can't
yeah.
even
I-
imagine you being an angry
Don't want to see it
person.
aimed at me. I just want to see it aimed at.
I
something.
feel like you've gotten mad at me once or twice, Kojo.
I have, but like I don't blow up at you. You know, like I'll.
The fact that
I
so
try
many
to
people
calm
have
down.
gotten mad at Matt, I feel like makes me feel very validated, and I'm gonna just step away.
Oh, you froze! You froze right there.
That was so.
That would have been,
perfect.
yeah. I'm just
My
gonna
new profile
step.
I'm gonna step away.
No, we had a fight about a solo, right? I think
yeah,
you
'Cause-
you did
yeah,
a
'cause you-
solo and I didn't like it.
yeah, and you recorded over it. It didn't tell me.
Oh, that was a different time than I'm thinking of. But yes,
Oh.
that one too. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's past. Like it's all about communication with me. Like I like to, try and communicate. I don't like to just blow up at people because like it's not productive. I find
Yeah.
it kind of silly and immature to just blow up at people because you're not really getting to a solution that way. You're just throwing your frustration at someone.
Right. And I appreciate
It's-
you like listening to my suggestions.
hmm And for the record, I have been mad at Lily before too.
Nice.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's not here to defend herself, so let's get it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's all talk about how we're mad at Lily.
Yeah, she's never gonna watch the YouTube stream. It'll be fine.
No, I don't even know where to start. So you guys. Oh
She's-
wait, never mind.
Guys, she's back. No.
I can hear you. My apartment is very small.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, like being in a relationship with 4 people.
Yes. Being in a band is hard, but also very rewarding. If you find a group of people that you can stick around for more than a year, then you've got something good.
Yeah, this lineup's what? Well, 2, 3 years.
2.5 years old.
Mhm.
And like 4 with me and Andy.
And honestly, I feel like if you are ever in a situation, like obviously not where it's like a super volatile or violent situation, like that's obviously bad. But like if you're, a lot of times you have to step away and think about the fact that the reason that you're arguing or fighting or whatever is because you both just care very passionately about the project. Like just take it in perspective. Like if they didn't care, they wouldn't be having this conversation or argument with you in the first place. So
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I feel like
sometimes stepping away and thinking about that lets you come back with a cooler head so you can actually resolve things and release albums. So,
Right.
everyone cares
Yes.
a lot, maybe a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about somebody getting their way. It's more so about people trying to. Everybody just has their own idea of what will be best, and we're all trying to make the best thing together.
right.
You know.
And we've gotten better about it. So, you know, I feel
Yeah.
good
I'd
about
say
how
so.
much we've grown as a group.
I feel like it's a lot less volatile.
Now I feel like it's more comedy than anything. Like
Yeah.
we put on a little bit of a show for you guys sometimes.
Do we?
So,
So
Matt's like,
apparently
"Well, I
Lily
feel
just
hurt."
does it on purpose.
Well, again, the money thing. I mean,
Yeah,
It's-
it's a
than
lot
that.
better when we don't have to worry about our own money being wasted.
agreed. Makes it a lot more. You can focus on the music and not how stressed out you are about money. So,
I mean, if when I was auditioning for the band, you guys were like, "So, Koja, what's your bank account look like?" I would have been like, "Oh yeah, I'll see you guys later." Just
I mean, yeah,
no.
Peace.
to be
that,
fair,
was that was my audition process.
yeah. I mean, to be
No,
fair,
it's not.
Corey, I don't think Corey gave any money, so.
we definitely have learned a lot as a group going like it's such a process when you're, you know, growing together, learning about how to make and release and music and how expensive everything is and like how to pay for
Yes.
these things and how to finance it and how to grow your fan base so that you're not pulling out of your own pocket. Like it's such a process. But, you know, if you find people who are willing to work together to figure that out, then it's worth it.
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm glad we're at that point because it was definitely a struggle for a few years. I think if I can, so like during Shadow and Steel was like when it was the worst, I think, because me and Lily were living in the same house.
I can't even
And-
imagine. that chaos.
And
I have so many stories.
well,
well, some of those are not for.
in that
It's
case,
true.
like I was mixing the album myself, so I was under a lot of pressure, and it was just tough. And now we have
Yeah.
other people mixing it, which is great because I don't like, I like mixing music, but I don't like doing it with that much pressure behind it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
like
think
the first
whenever
years of a
Sean joined the band,
business.
it was such a huge weight off because Matt and I were both fielding so much of it ourselves. And I think that's why we were fighting a lot because we were both like, I'm like holding all of this together myself. But we both were. We just in our minds were only doing it ourselves. And the other person was just being a horribly unappreciative person. And then Sean came in as like a mediator and a person who was willing to assist.
I have done so much mediation.
Yeah.
He's
Sean-
like the ringmaster, like, hold, let us have this talk.
I'm the voice of reason. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand how you feel.
Sometimes.
Well,
I mean, when has
For
Sean
me,
been
at least.
unreasonable?
Sean is
Whenever
like
he's offering
my-
us a drink.
my conscious person who I go to, and he's like, no.
Yeah. I'm like, Lily, you're being a little bit of a bitch.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Shut up, Dad. You can't tell me what to do.
No. That's one nice thing about having mentally ill parents is that I'm able to like absorb and
I'm glad you said parents and not bandmates because
Yeah, I
that's
thought
where
you were
I thought
gonna
you were
talk.
going.
I
No,
mean, he's still correlating that with working with us. There is still a
No,
thread.
no, it's the fact like I have a lot of experience in like peer mediation and like I understand how you feel and blah 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 and then like your emotions are valid. You're allowed to feel the way you want to feel, but just because we feel this way doesn't necessarily mean that's what the truth is. All right, I'm gonna stop talking.
Everyone's just judging Sean.
welcome to
ridiculously.
Sean's TED Talk. No, I
Yeah.
agree with.
No, I
with
didn't.
What Sean's
I didn't
saying.
realize this was going to be a therapy session.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of therapy
Need
that
way
needs to go
more
on
alcohol
here.
for that.
All he says is Batman involved.
What?
I didn't ever tell the story to I guess the Ollies that are still here. I know Shigrano's heard it, but I'll wait for another stream.
You've told it before, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's a funny story. Except when you got later in the evening, it wasn't so funny because we thought you were dying.
Just glad you made it home
Yeah, somehow.
to the hotel.
Oh, that evening. I see.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, and we all need therapy. It's 2020. Amen to that, brother.
Right?
Yeah.
Amen to that.
They really want to hear the Batman story.
Do you want
Who-
to tell it really quick and have that be our closing
Well, who's the
story?
best person to tell it? Because I don't know how much Sean remembers about it. He probably knows just what we told him.
Like, I feel like I have like a third point of view. Like,
Yeah.
I was so drunk. All right, so basically,
When you were like floating above, like
Yeah.
out of body experience.
Well, I also know Alan. All right, so basically, this is what happened. You know, we were done all our shows. It was like the last day of Mag. So like we're like, let's go out and get hammered. And you know, I take that to an unhealthy level because I play bass and that's what we do. So so we went out, and I also apparently I drink way more than like the normal human being. So we had a few drinks, and then I bought everyone a couple drinks and drink.
More than a couple drinks.
Yeah.
He got me wasted.
Yeah.
So there's a little eatery down in the kind of the atrium of the Gaylord. That we always go there. And we always get like chicken fingers because they're great. And
They're the cheapest
think-
thing there.
yeah.
No,
We were
they're
down there
amazing
hanging out.
too.
Drinking, and like I got to like pass out level, so like I'm on a bench like trying to fall asleep, and then there's this guy Alan who I played in a band with prior, and he was cosplaying as Batman, and because he saw me there asleep and he knew who I was, he tried to draw on my face with a marker. So one thing about me is like I'm not a very confrontational drunk. Like I'm very happy-go-lucky and silly and blah blah blah, unless I feel like I'm under attack. And when someone is like hovering over me, like trying to draw a dick on my face, you know, that flipped a switch. So I pushed him off, got up, and started swinging on Batman. Apparently, the rest of the band, like, and also hotel security, was starting to like surround me. So they
Well,
were
it-
trying to usher.
It was me and Lily. I think we
Yeah.
were the only ones there.
I was there because I remember none of this.
No, you were definitely there. It was us three. Andy was somewhere else. I
Yeah.
think
I also threw
I think-
mayonnaise packets at him. Apparently, like I picked up like just that was the closest
No.
thing. 'Cause
they weren't packets. It was a bottle of mayonnaise.
Oh. Alright, so apparently I threw a bottle of mayonnaise at Batman. So anyway, so they like Lily and Matt escort me out, and like this is all kind of like third person account because I don't remember any of this. Like just
Apparently
bits and
Matt's the
pieces.
only one who
Yeah.
does.
So-
No, we took you to a table over in. We were in the atrium area, so we took you out of the sports bar, maybe like 20 feet over to the middle of the atrium. There was a table there, and we sat you there, and your head just went down, and you were like out of it, and we were like, well, what should we do now?
I remember that part of it,
But
but I
then-
don't remember being.
and I
one of
was
the
there
people to
for-
take him out of there.
Oh yeah, we were
Anyone
like,
I
there?
was there. I was there for that part.
we were
And
like, let's
then
go get
Batman
Andy.
Came back. Batman
Batman
came back.
Returned. That was a different movie.
No, like it. Well, you can finish that story, and then I'll continue with what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know the details, but there was more fighting.
Oh,
and then
there was a round
finally,
two.
Finally, we were able to get Batman to just leave
Get out of here, Batman. Nobody likes you.
because it was not going to end unless Batman left.
So then you guys try to like usher me. I think you guys call like either an Uber or something.
Hmm.
So I completely don't get in the Uber because it's taking too long, and I just hop into a random cab, like, and somehow I communicate where the hotel room is. And by the way,
I'm glad you went to the
I-
hotel and not like took a cab all the way back to like your house in Maryland.
Right?
me too. The entire time too, like I have the money box from Mag, so I have $1,000 of cash in my backpack and my Nintendo Switch in my backpack. Meanwhile, blackout drunk, and I just completely ignore the Uber. I get into this random cab. I almost don't pay. I kind of remember I almost didn't pay the cab because I forgot, and like he yelled at me, and then I paid him. I hope. The next day, I wake up. I look around. I realize I'm in the hotel room I should be in, and I'm just like, yes.
Nice. Success.
I'm like,
Wow.
success. And then I'm like, oh, where's my bag? And my bag's like in a chair in the corner. I'm like, Yes! Drunk Sean is a man!
All right, I'm gonna tell the rest from my perspective because
Okay.
there was a little bit more involved there.
Nice.
So after we took Sean to this table, like we went to get Andy. I think we sent someone because you guys were rooming together, and I just remember, I think it was maybe Mary or
I
someone.
think Mary and Devin were there too.
They came
Yeah.
back and they were like, Andy doesn't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, I do remember that. They were
And
like, Andy's like, no.
yeah, and so like it's
Sorry,
not the
Sean.
coolest thing in the world, but we kind of left Sean's like unconscious body with Devin, and then me and Lily went and continued drinking at the bar.
Yep,
Wow.
They abandoned me.
I did. I was really hammered. Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize how drunk I was until like I got into a moving vehicle, and then like promptly, like as soon as the vehicle stopped, I threw up outside. And then I remember,
Yeah, looking back, I
Nothing
didn't
of the
I
rest
didn't
of the
realize
evening.
how drunk she was. So like we were still buying beers, which was yeah.
yep, I don't think I paid for a single drink that night, but I was hammered.
You bought me a drink.
I did.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how you know she was drunk. She bought you a drink.
That's a pretty telltale sign.
Mary says we tried to put him on the merch cart and wheel him out.
That would have been amazing.
It was a good time.
Well, I think that's probably a good place to wrap up for today,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter.
Yeah.
We hope that you
Yep.
continue. We're definitely going to keep doing this every month, I believe.
And tell your friends that like heavy metal or Zelda to check us out, support our Patreon, etc.
Like
Word.
Follow us on Facebook and social media.
They can watch us be silly and argue with each other. It's a lot of fun.
And if you missed part of this, we'd like to reiterate the full thing should be up on YouTube, so don't worry.
Yeah. And we'll probably be doing another one next month. So get your questions ready.
Yep.
Cool.
later.
See you guys.
Peace.
I gotta figure out how to close this thing.
Peace.
Right, there we go.
Good.
Okay.